Well, hello and good afternoon, everybody. If you're watching the replay, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is. My name is Yvette LeFlore from Healing with Yvette, and I'm here with Patrice Freeland from Wonderful Land of Oils, and we are going to talk about the holiday excesses, including finances, food, friends, family, all of the F's. And we're going to talk about different ways to support you so that you can digest and process all of the excesses that come your way. So yes, you may not be, we're listening to this, we're actually recording this and doing this live a week before. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of an echo here. A week before Halloween, which is I think when the excesses start, right? Because we've got that candy that we buy for the trick-or-treaters that winds up maybe not just for them. And then we go right into lots of other holidays. So Patrice, thank you very much for again partnering with me. And I'm really excited to talk about the oils and crystals that support people during this season.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is such a fun topic. And, you know, here we are. It is the end of October and we are all ramping up for all the good things and them being a lot. That's always a part of that. So, yeah, I'm excited to dive in.
All right. Why don't you start us off with your first doTERRA product, oil? And because you're not doing all oils today, right? So
no, we're going to talk a little bit about supplementation today as well. And while at first glance, a lot of these things are going to be very focused on the physical body. With everything that we do physically, we are also supporting our emotional well-being and our spiritual and energetic well-being as well. So, you know, as I mentioned, the fall is here and we are already kind of intrinsically feeling that the holiday season is upon us. You know, to our core, our traditions, they are coming to mind. And I don't know about you, but I know that I'm definitely starting to get into that preparation mode. And that is such an important part of preparing for all of the excess that comes with the holiday season. Is what steps can you take proactively to be able to increase your bandwidth to process and deal with these additional things that are going to be coming at each of us? So the first thing we're going to talk about today is actually a digestive enzyme. So the enzymes that I love are TerraZyme, and this is actually a little bit of a different label than what you would see if you got that today. But what digestive enzymes do physically are are your body's like extra supporters. They're the extra ground workers that are going to take all of the nutrients that you take in and break them down so that they can be used later. And our digestive enzymes naturally decline once we hit 25. And it's something that we have to supplement our body, and our nutrition is our fuel. So if we do not have that proper nutrient availability, then we are not going to have the physical energy. Our mood is definitely not going to be where we need it to be. Our cognitive ability is going to be strained a little bit. We need to be at the top of our game and being able to let our food be our fuel is the way to do that. And when we think about how we feel when we're not digesting well, we're overly full and then we feel overwhelmed and we start to physically expand. So, you know, we remove room for other things to come at us. And the digestive enzyme, you know, physically and emotionally, is going to help us process faster. And not only are we processing faster, we're getting all the good stuff out of it too. So it's nourishing our soul. And there were the holidays are wonderful. There's a lot of it, but if we allow it, it's so nourishing to us as well. It's not just exhausting. That's kind of a dual play that enzymes can provide us.
Perfect. And when you talked about getting ready, like we're sensing the holidays, if you walk through any store, they already have holiday stuff out. I mean, they've had it out for a while, but it's really starting to flood the shelves. And so my first crystal is green aventurine. And green aventurine, this is a very pale green. It comes in different shades of green, but this is beneficial to help alleviate the stress of the holiday. And you talked about food being fuel. And when your body is fueled, then the stress is lower. But you can use green aventurine to support you with the stress. You can also use it to help you with stress around finances, because this time of year, people start to think about how much money they're going to spend. And listen, it's not my job to step in and say people want their time with you and the experiences with you more than the things, but some people want the things. So use a little green aventurine to support you. Maybe you bring it with you shopping so that the choices you make fit your financial needs better than other choices. Or maybe you just use it because you're feeling stressed about the financial needs of the holiday. On to you.
I love that. I love that. I learn new stuff every time we do these. It's so exciting. So to kind of segue from the digestive enzymes and stay on this kind of digestive and preparatory track a little bit, we're going to talk about supporting our microbiome. And many of us have, when we hear that, we immediately think of our digestive bacteria and our gut flora. And yes, that is a part of it, but it actually is our protective barrier against the outside world. So not only do we have a microbiome in our digestive tract, which is, exposure from all these external things that we're bringing in, but it's also the microbiome of our skin, our external barrier, our mouth, which is our first point of contact for those foods, and our nasal cavity, and our reproductive systems. So when we are being bombarded with, particularly with a lot of people, a lot of energy, then we want to make sure that we have a very strong and healthy boundary. And our microbiome does that. It helps strengthen our immunity against any type of physical pathogens. It helps to lower inflammation. And then it prepares our tissues for the digestive enzymes and that nutrition to come through as wholly as it needs to. So the products that I really love to support that is PB Restore. And this is not only a probiotic, but it has prebiotics, the probiotic, and the postbiotic. And so it gives like the full life cycle support of your microbiome. And it always needs to be refreshed, because when we get stressed, when we eat a lot of sugar, if we happen to become ill and need like an antibiotic, all of those things wipe out our microbiome. So we need to constantly replenish that. We know the winter months and the holidays are going to be those high risk times where we're wiping out all the good stuff, and that's going to bring it back in. Then there's the PB Assist, which is a little, powder form that's pretty tasty and a nice accent that is specifically focused on our digestive tract. And I'm one of those people that just needs a little extra support there, but also is a great option for kids too, because the more we take care of their microbiome, the younger they are, then the more healthy that they're going to be physically and emotionally, because our physical, our immune, and our mental health, it all is generated in our gut.
And when we think about the foods that are just food in our country as a whole is lacking the nutrients that we need, right? So helping your gut and your whole body system is really beneficial. So speaking about protecting yourself, let's talk about hematite. Now, hematite, I will tell you that size for size is one of the heaviest crystals because it has iron in it, which is a very grounding metal. And so this hematite is perfect for grounding your energy. And for those of you who aren't crazy about crowds, don't like lots of peopling, hematite is a crystal to get yourself a bracelet, wear it when you go out into those malls, wear it when you go out shopping, when you go to those family gatherings, and it is going to help protect you from all that excess energy that is around you. And excess energy is something that creates the stress, creates the fatigue. And so why not protect yourself from that? It is also known as a stone for willpower. So when we talk about the excess spending and the excess eating, hematite can be beneficial for that as well. All right.
Oh, I love that. I love that. All right. So the next oil we're going to talk about is one that is it frequently appears, a frequent guest on our show. It is peppermint. But each time we talk about it, we're going to talk about it a little bit differently. So I'm going to give you a couple nuggets that you haven't heard before, I hope. And peppermint is truly that Swiss Army knife of essential oils. It is one that I highly recommend having with you during this holiday season. And I'm going to tell you why. So it is very beneficial for digestive support. And it does that because it relaxes muscles. So not only is it relaxing the muscles in your digestive tract, helping you eat, it is also relaxing the muscles in your body. So as we are getting stressed out and our muscles are starting to crunch in and we're getting those headaches, then diluting, it is an oil you're going to want to dilute, and putting it on the head, on the back of the neck, rub it into the shoulders, sore feet when you've been shopping, any of those things peppermint's going to be really helpful for. Also, kind of specific to digestion in the food bit. Sometimes when we're not digesting well and we haven't used our enzymes like we should, then we can get very painful gas. Peppermint is amazing at absorbing that and relieving that distress. It's also helpful for focus. It'll give you a little burst of energy. So when you're starting to, feel a little run down, this is going to help you kind of get through that last little bit. But energetically, what peppermint does is literally and figuratively gives us a breath of fresh air. So when we need to kind of step away from it, when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're caught in the hustle and bustle, just take a, sniff out of the bottle, and it will literally cause you to take a deep breath, but it's going to emotionally kind of give you a break from all of the burden. It's like a little vacation in a moment, if you will, to just feel a little lighter and feel a little brighter. Also, if you're traveling for the holidays, put peppermint and a citrus in a car diffuser, and it's going to be very helpful at keeping you alert and awake and calm as you're traveling on the roads.
I love that you called it peppermint the Swiss Army knife of the oils. I think that's a great way to describe it, because, and then I was like, oh, well, the next crystal I have up is the Swiss Army knife of crystals, the rose quartz. Right? So, and this is a frequent flyer in our conversations as well. Love, holidays, family gatherings, old wounds. Need I say more? Right? So rose quartz is going to support you in opening your heart for yourself and for others. So the self-love and the love of others. And I think that if you're looking for holiday gifts for family members, why not find some rose quartz for everybody in the family? Whether it's a necklace, a bracelet, a rose quartz in some kind of shape, because this is a commonly shaped crystal, rose quartz hearts for people, but spread the love by spreading the rose quartz crystals. This is a way to support yourself in opening your heart, so that, and when I say opening your heart, I don't mean that you're opening your heart so that you can be wounded again, but it's opening your heart to allow yourself the self-love, so that if there's boundaries that need to be set, you love yourself enough to set those boundaries. And you also love yourself to open up to receive the love that is coming your way.
Oh, rose quartz is such a favorite. I love it so much. And I love when you pull out that beautiful big piece and just like, it's so good. And one thing that you mentioned with rose quartz is that piece of making the decision and being responsible for your boundaries and taking that empowerment. And when I think of empowerment, our next oil we're going to talk about, and I'm sorry I don't have the bottle with me right now, is ginger. So ginger is the oil of empowerment. And it is up to us and only us to determine how we are going to be and what activities we're going to take on, what foods we're going to eat, all of those things. We are empowered to make those decisions. It's totally okay for us, and it is needed for us to determine how we want to experience everything we're experiencing, but particularly the holidays, because sometimes people have different expectations of you than what you have for yourself. So ginger is going to help you do that and figure that out and feel very strong in that. Part of the reason why that happens is ginger is a warming oil. It helps to invigorate your circulation. It helps invigorate your digestive juices. So it really gets you going, so you feel empowered. What it does to help with the digestive piece of the holidays is that it helps to kind of relax the muscles, but it helps to empty your stomach a little bit faster. Now, we don't want to abuse that. That does not mean that we can eat twice as much. But,
Come on.
I know that's so tempting. Sometimes when we're feeling overwhelmed and we're feeling stressed, then that will actually slow down our digestion, and we can't take any more. So then our food will literally just sit in our stomach because we can't take any more. So ginger is going to help us feel empowered. Yes, you can. It's all going to be okay. It's going to help, that food pass through and be digested and nourish us and help us feel warm. And of course, it's got that little bit of spice to, help us feel that little flair and spice of life. That's always so fun.
A little spicy spice. I love that you just can't take anymore. It's a great oil for that. So Celestite, this is a beautiful, I don't have any smaller pieces of Celestite. So this is the one that I grab when I'm talking about this. This supports peace and calm. And isn't that what we want for the holidays? As much as there is to do, and there's, those to-do lists get much longer. How about supporting yourself with Celestite? Or if it's about peace and calm, what about taking some smaller pieces or even a larger piece and having it be part of your table centerpiece, so that when the family gathers around for the meal, you've got a crystal that is going to support a calm table conversation. Now, I grew up in a family where we didn't have argumentative conversations. We didn't argue. We got quiet and sullen, right? But I know that in some families, it gets loud, it gets boisterous, and there's lots of opinions that are made. So Celestite will help you with that. It also, on the other side of things, will help you with sleep. And we need the sleep this time of year. That helps bring down the stress and alleviate all of the things that come along with the excesses of the holiday. So Celestite is a piece for you to get.
Having crystals on your table centerpiece, I would have never have thought about that before, but I can just imagine something so beautiful with all the bounties and the flowers, and adding in our crystals and gemstones, just so gorgeous. And what a great way to influence, the vibration of that room. I love it. So in this lines of peace and calm, and kind of also dovetailing with the empowerment that we got from ginger, Fennel gives us responsibility. And in that same light that, we are only responsible for ourselves. No one else is responsible for us, but also we are not responsible for other people. This is not counting parents and children, but the other people in the room. So Fennel is going to really help us stay in our lane, if you will, and have the responsibility of what we're going to take on in our reactions, and also have that peace that comes with letting go and letting everyone else make their decisions as well. It's so much nicer when you only have to focus on yourself, and then you don't have to then have that burden of feeling responsible for other people around us. And what it does for us physically is very similar to that. So again, it's another oil of digestion, but it does it with a slightly different take. It helps to reduce inflammation in our digestive tract. So if we think of our digestive tract is our boundary to the external world, it's the boundary of what we're taking in. We don't want it to be inflamed. If it's inflamed, then we are coming at the world triggered. So we want it to be relaxed. We want it to be free of toxins. Also, Fennel is a really good supporter of the liver. And in Chinese medicine, the liver gallbladder is where we may hold anger and resentment. So this is a really good oil that's going to help us to release that. It's beautiful for skin and it tastes delicious. And with all of these digestive oils that we've been talking about, they're very easy and multifaceted to use. You can put them in a diffuser and mix them with other citruses or other just scents of the season, and they're all quite lovely and versatile. You can dilute them. Most digestive oils do have a little bit of a heat to it, so I definitely recommend using a carrier oil and put it right where it hurts. Put it on the stomach. You know, if you're getting that muscle pain, you know, put it on the head, put it on the neck. And since we're using and recommending doTERRA oils because of the purity and testing of those oils, they're safe to use internally. And these are all so much fun to do that with. You can just put a drop in, you know, water. They're wonderful in a hot tea, veggie cap, and, you know, right under the tongue, or you can use it strategically in your favorite dishes and desserts and have, you know, everyone get those nice physical and energetic benefits in something delicious that we've prepared for them for the holidays too.
When you're talking about the flavor of fennel, I just keep tasting sambuca, 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 that licorice.
Yes, yes.
Use that instead. All right. So go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was like, oh yes, absolutely. And well, and in you'll find in a lot of Indian restaurants that they'll have a beautiful little bowl on your way out of fennel seeds. So you can chew on those and help that digestion on your way out. So yes, lots of great ways to incorporate fennel.
Mhm. All right. So going back to the appetite and eating, I want to introduce blue apatite. I have a heart and then I have a string of beads. And again, love the color and the variation in color of this crystal. And communication and peace, the throat chakra, which is very beneficial to have that in alignment during this holiday season. But blue apatite is also one of the crystals that supports the appetite or the control of the appetite. And I don't use it for that, but I understand that some people do. Now this isn't something you're going to carry around, but again, you can get a small piece, you can get some beads, you can put them in your pocket, your brocket, you know, bring it wherever, put it wherever you need to so that you have it with you. And blue apatite is also about acceptance. And again, when we talk about having the holiday seasons, we wind up with connecting with, whether it's that holiday party or that larger family gathering, we have a lot of people, in excess of people that we may not see all of the time. And they have opinions that we don't have. So having a crystal to support you with those opinions is really beneficial. And I want to dovetail on the idea I had for you earlier about using crystals for a centerpiece. I saw today pine cone ornaments, and I thought, what a great idea to get a pine cone, one of the larger pine cones that's opened up, and put crystals on it and use it as a holiday ornament as well. So you can even hang them like you would hang mistletoe around the house. So you've got that energy of those crystals, and it looks like it's in a decorative form, but it's, again, supporting your environment by utilizing the crystals.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is such a beautiful idea. That's genius. Okay, the last oil that I'm going to share with you this evening is kind of just the holistic blend of digestive support, and it is DigestZen. And this is a roller version of that. And if you ever have the opportunity, there are oils that you like to use topically, diluting them in a roller so you can take it with you is a really, really great and easy idea. So DigestZen has the oils we've talked about today: the fennel, the ginger, the peppermint, but it also has, you know, some anise and pretty much every oil that you can think of that is going to support digestion. It has this in it, and it brings zen to your digestion. This is very helpful if you don't know what type of problem or reaction you're going to have physically or emotionally. So it prepares you for everything. Sometimes we eat food or in a situation that gets stuck and then it just kind of stays there and it's not moving through our body like it should. Or sometimes it's overstimulated and it moves through us too quickly and we become a little hyper and a little depleted. Sometimes it's something that we do not want to digest and deal with, and then it may, come back up through nausea or reflux. All of those things are reflective of us not being able to, process not only our food, but what's going on around us as well. And sometimes we have certain memories associated with this time of year. It may not be specific to the holidays, but certain things may have happened that time of year. And it's difficult to have to kind of go through that hump, when we have these milestones that are related to the calendar. Using DigestZen is going to help us digest it. It's going to help us process it and let it go in a beautiful and gentle way without us having to relive or experience any type of pain, which is so important when we're processing and healing. You can diffuse this oil. Most people don't. This is an oil that gives its best benefit being used topically. And again, you're just going to put it right where you're feeling that discomfort. On the stomach, on the esophagus. Something else that's interesting is sometimes we don't want to listen. We don't want to hear what is being said, and we may have ear congestion. And you can take this diluted and run it like down the neck on the back of the ear. Do not ever put essential oils in your ear. Safety tip, don't ever put them in your ear, but you can put it behind the neck, and it's going to help open up that ear so that we can hear. And just a very, very helpful processing oil.
I was thinking earlier, thank you for mentioning the ears, because I was thinking earlier when you were talking about, you were speaking about peppermint and putting it up here, for headaches back here. And I wanted to remind people to wash your hands after you use a peppermint oil or any of the hot oils, because, we have the tendency to rub our eyes. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So definitely wash the hands after you use the hot oil.
Yes.
So
yes.
The last crystal that I want to talk about today is, we've had this one before, but this is blue lace agate, and you can see the lines in the agate that lets you know that it is an agate. And this is really wonderful for relieving stress and nerves. And I know I keep coming back to that, but I know that this time of year, people become a bundle of nerves. You talk about the digesting, right? And everything gets all tense. And so the blue lace agate is a crystal that can help you with those nerves, can help you with that stress, can also help you when the overactive thoughts, your brain is going and going and going because you have all this to do, all these extra things to make and do and go and buy and people to see and cards to write, and get yourself some blue lace agate. You don't think you have the time to meditate, but you do, or just sit quietly with it. Allow it to soothe you. Allow it to give you some peace during this time of excess, all of the things, the excess of things that you have to do, right? Sit, be quiet, and be with the blue lace agate. And it also helps with family communication. So this would be another one that would be great to put in that centerpiece that you're all going to make this year for any of your family gatherings. Patrice, any last thoughts about the holidays and excesses and oils and crystals before we go?
I would say last thing is just enjoy and make the choices that are not only going to support the ones that we love, but are going to support us. And there is learning and there is grace and there is love that expresses itself in lots of different ways in every moment. And we get to see the, I'll say, intensity of a lot of those things, have a lot of those additional opportunities during the holiday season. So definitely wish you the best in processing and digesting all of the people, all of the things, all the activities, and all of the food that's coming up in the next couple months.
Thank you. I'm also getting the message to remind you to check in with the traditions and things that you've been doing, because they've have to be that way or they've been done that way, to see whether those still serve you and your family. So that's the last thing that I'll say about that. And I thank you all for joining us today. And what we gave you today about the holiday season and excesses actually works year round. So feel free to come back and watch this again when you feel like there's a lot going on in your life. We have the crystals and we have the oils for you. Thanks, everybody.